Hi, everyone. Welcome again. This is our Facebook Live number 2 on behalf of Lifeskills South Florida. Again, for those who don't know me, my name is Ethan Jordan, and I work for Odyssey Behavioral Health Care, part of the Life Skills family. And I have the great privilege of introducing Amanda Bassos of Life Skills South Florida, as well as Austin Celestine of our family program at Life Skills. So, Amanda, Austin, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Ethan.
Thanks, Ethan. And thanks for everyone joining us on Facebook Live. We're excited to be here again. For those joining us for the first time or maybe not as familiar with Life Skills, again, my name is Amanda Bastos, and I am part of the business development team with Life Skills. We're located in South Florida, of course, where we provide treatment for adults who present both with complex psychiatric histories and also substance use disorders. And part of our programming, which is such a unique portion, is that we will provide 6 evidence-based clinical pathways that best support the presentations of our clients. In addition to working with a primary mental health therapist, our clients get the privilege of working with a separate family therapist. And so we are excited that we're joined today by our Associate Director of Family Programming at Life Skills, Austin Celestine. Welcome, Austin.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, so we're glad to have you here.
Thank
So,
you.
Austin, I know you oversee our family programming at Life Skills South Florida. Can you
Right.
tell us a little bit about why family programming is so important and why it's such a helpful component in addition to treatment?
Thanks. It's a great question. We really serve two functions. The first function is really to support the families. For a
Mhm.
lot of families, this is their first time going into treatment. For some families, it might be their fifth or second. We want to be able to ground the families, maybe mom, dad, spouses, siblings. We want to be able to ground them. How we do that? We reach out to them within the first or second day. We get them on the phone for about 15 to 20 minutes, talk about the program, talk about our services. We also like to provide insight. We like to provide insight about the company, insight about our services, a little bit of direction on how things really operate. A lot of this information may be said for the second or third time, but when you're talking to a therapist that's actually in the facility, it gives it a more of a face-to-face human touch to that key level of communication. And so that's our first primary function, providing support. And I like to say, let's be a bridge between the families and the facility. And obviously the second function being family therapist to provide family therapy. What does family therapy look like? It is really addressing those maladaptive patterns, those maladaptive communication issues, enabling issues, codependency issues, really examining that family as a whole, including the client, to really have weekly sessions. Those weekly sessions can be done via video, via phone, or in person. And those sessions are helped to kind of prepare the family and the client for reunification post-treatment.
Very well said. I think those are two key focuses that are so helpful,
Mhm.
supporting and grounding the family, and then also providing the continued therapeutic support. Typically at Life Skills, do you find that the family therapy piece is done separately of the client, or is it an engaging component of both client and
The
family?
level of functioning, it happens both. There will be times where we do a family assessment. So the family assessment's usually done within the first week and a half of the client's admissions to Life Skills. There, we'll get a good family history. We'll even get a formation of problems. We'll get some goal setting. And then we'll make the hard ask. Are you willing to participate in family therapy? And then after that hard ask, we'll ask the client themselves. And at times, I would say about 70% of the time, the clients will say yes. The clients will definitely want to engage in family therapy, but there are times where 30% of the time the client isn't available to do so. That's when we'll just work with the family themselves. What that'll look like is really support calls, usually when the clients are calling home. Um, Mom and dad or husband and wife are unable to kind of cope with that phone call, maybe a very difficult phone call.
Sure.
So a lot of the times We're just reaching out to the families, coaching them through some difficult situations, difficult phone calls. In the meantime, we're still trying to engage the client into family therapy. Maybe they're here for 60 days, 90 days, or longer. We're still going back to try to engage them. You know, from my experience, usually about 90% of our clients will engage in some type of sessions with their loved ones. Even if they may decide not to have done it in the beginning, usually after some wearing them down, they'll get to do it.
Of course. I know it's a process for
Mhm.
individuals, and I think over time, as our clients, as anyone, any professional in the industry certainly knows, it takes a little time to build rapport and
Right.
trust and safety. And you're doing
Absolutely.
that both with the client and with the families. So I heard you mention a little bit about what family programming specifically looks like at Life Skills with
Mhm.
weekly coaching calls, weekly sessions. Can you speak a little bit more to the additional programming that's in place?
We facilitate a weekly family support call. It's called the Family Alliance call. It's about an hour. It's done by my coworker, Andrew Kossoff. He hosts this every Friday from about 10 to 11 a.m. Those calls are done to educate the families about the programming. So we may have a clinical pathway leader, like we discussed, Amanda, discuss the programming, discuss DBT, discuss cognitive remediation, and he'll also have a support portion to that call as well. So he may email out an article, he may have an open forum where the families can talk freely about their issues. It's meant to join the families together. So even though we have parents from different parts of the countries, husband and wife from different parts of the countries, they can relate to one another because they have a family member that's at Life Skills,
Right.
but B, their problems may sound similar to someone else's problems. And that ability to kind of join in a process group forum really is beneficial to the families. Since Andy has joined the team, his calls have averaged 10 to 15 families per week of just being able to get communication, get information about and then really be able to relate to one another. And obviously, go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say there's a power in group support and
Mhm.
community.
It's a group therapy session when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I know a part of our programming also includes our family weekend. Can you
Yes.
describe what that looks like?
Our family weekend, a lot of facilities like to say they do those, but I think our facility really takes it up another notch. It's a 2.5 day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Friday, we really are examining the clinical pathways. Our medical director, our associate director, our DBT director, we really go into talking about the programming here at Life Skills. Even our CEO takes part of it to kind of give you history and details about Life Skills. As a family team, we do facilitate several family therapeutic exercises throughout the day, really to learn about information, communication, how a family operates. We do like 2 or 3 family therapeutic exercises on Friday. We do give homework, and so you got to do some homework before coming in on Saturday. And on Saturday, we process the homework assignment. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to spoil it. But what we really do is we have each family sit together and really process the homework assignment. It really is a experiential exercise for the families. It is the meat and heart of our family weekend. It is when you get the cathartic releases, when you get that insight, when you get that aha moments from your loved ones and loved ones from their parents or spouses. On Sunday, it's more of a half a day. So on Sunday, we usually end around 12. We like to bring 1 or 2 alumni to speak to the families. So these would be families that you can relate to, former clients that have gone through family weekend, gone through family therapy, and are successes in their community and back home in their families. And then we close out with a couple process groups. So what I mean by process groups, we really will separate the families from the clients, and the families are able to just talk freely about their concerns, their fears, um, the weekend, any matters that are particular to them and their families, medication, discharge planning, the next steps. That typically is about a 60 to 90-minute process group with the families. In the meantime, the clients are doing their own process group, processing the weekend themselves and their feelings about it. We usually get great feedback. And I say usually because there'll always be one or two people that complain about the food. Yeah, and so I'm working with a caterer, and I hope the caterer doesn't see this. But every now and then, one or two people will complain about the food. But other than that, other than the food complaints, we usually get high remarks, great satisfaction, and it actually helps build upon our alumni because
Of
many
course.
families will sign in to be future alumni to provide future support calls to any new admissions that might be coming in.
That's beautiful. It's such a detailed weekend, chock
Yes.
full of information, no doubt, but so
Mhm.
helpful
Yeah.
to the continued journey that every family is on.
Yeah.
And I love hearing how you work in collaboration with the entire team at Life Skills
Right.
to incorporate medical, clinical, even the behavioral health support team that's there coming
Mhm.
in to continue providing education and support to families for their loved ones. And
Right.
that's a beautiful multidisciplinary approach to bringing
Absolutely.
everybody together. We love that.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Well, one more quick question, Austin.
Sure.
What advice might you have for families right now who are maybe on the fence of participating in continued support? What would you recommend?
I think, especially in these times, it's really important where families are forced together due to COVID, and there's stressors that can obviously come up from that. Your
Mhm.
college kids are back home, everybody's around each other for really too long a period. And so the level of stress increases in the homes. Parents and kids, loved ones tend to be on top of each other. We're working from home. I'm working from home on the computer next to you, too loud in the house. And so a lot of stress, especially nowadays with the conditions of the world is. So definitely getting some form of support. If it's not a support call, finding an online support group, having Facebook chats with your friends to kind of give you a way to cope and normalize what's going on in these really abnormal times. I think now more than ever, it's really important to reach out to some form of support group. Maybe at Life Skills, maybe online with other resources, maybe Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, CODA, NAMI has great
Right.
programs online. Being able to reach out to something like that or creating it within yourself. Uh, a, a way of outletting your frustrations and your stressors to normalize these trying times.
Of course. Well said. Community and connection is so important. So
Mhm.
important, especially now. Well, thank you, Austin, for your time. If anybody has any additional questions about Life Skills South Florida, our family programming, certainly feel free to reach out to myself, to Austin, to Ethan. We're happy to answer any and all questions. Thanks so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.